Ladies and gentlemen, good people and not so good people. I'm gonna let you decide if you're good people or not. I'm not gonna try to make that determination for you. It's your boy Coolman came back, another episode. Play College Sports Talk. We no longer live. These are recorded. So sometimes we'll hear us talk about things and you'll be thinking, that's already been played. So why is it talking about it? Because at the time that we're recording, it hasn't happened yet. So we're just letting y'all know what we think. I mean, my picks are sure to go wrong. They do most of the time. Well, I say about half of the time. But it's all good. What's the fun if you're not gonna, do the picks just because, by the time y'all see it, it might already be there. As y'all can see over here on this side this week, gotta go this way, you never know. Mr. JJ Jenkins himself. So y'all know it's gonna be an interesting show whenever JJ on. I don't think he's had any spirits today, so it might not be as interesting as it can be, but it's just a bit. What up, JJ?
What's going on, man? How's it going?
Hey, just cooling, man. I'm trying to be like Stuart Scott, man. I'm trying to be cooler than the other side of the pillow.
I know that's right.
You know
yes, I know
sir.
that's right.
Yes, but hey, speaking of Stuart Scott, that man loves college football as well as many other sports. So it's time to get into it.
Yes, sir.
So week 3, interesting week in the top 25. I think a couple of games to definitely at least speak on. Indiana mollywhopped, dog walked, and beat down Indiana State 73-0. But Indiana State's the real winner here. And the reason they're the real winner is because they got that check from Indiana to lose. And then same thing, Central Michigan, they managed to get a field goal in, so they don't have a donut. And they only lost by 60, so they lost 63-3. So, a little bit better. One other surprising game, of course, Clemson, Georgia Tech. Now, if you watch this show, you heard me say last week, Clemson should win, but Georgia Tech looks like if one of those 3 teams at the top falter, and the 3 teams I was talking about at the time was Clemson, Miami, and Florida State. So if one of those 3 falter, Georgia Tech is going to be the one I believe to slide in. There's a couple of other teams that may make a difference once you actually get the ACC play. But Georgia Tech, Miami, Florida State now, after Clemson lost another game, are the teams to watch. Now, the importance of this game is this is an ACC game. So now you have 2 losses, 1 in the ACC. So Clemson is kind of on the ropes. They can still get there if they run the gauntlet because the only other ranked team they play, I believe, is Florida State until they get to the championship game. So if they can take care of business, they may could still see themselves there. But that loss to Georgia Tech hurts. But remember, Georgia Tech's one of the teams. They got Miami too. They get everybody. They beat ranked teams. But normally, Georgia Tech isn't ranked. Now Georgia Tech is number 18. So they themselves are ranked now. So maybe they're rubbing their own mojo off. So that could be good for the rest of the ACC. We'll see how it plays out. But Georgia Tech has jumped in and took care of Clemson with their last second field goal. Any thoughts on that game, JJ?
I mean, it's what you guys said, man. Georgia Tech is a team that has beaten ranked teams. They've beaten, like I said, our Canes on a couple occasions. Calvin Johnson was over there when they beat us and everything. And it's just, they get you, but, they're just not a team that's flashy. But I do think things are changing for Clemson. I don't think it's going to be easy to kind of win this ACC. And who knows? They may not even be able to make it out there. Syracuse is still out there trying to figure it out. They're not a bad squad. I don't know. I really don't have too much on that. Just like, wow, woke up, there you go.
Oklahoma had a nice win, 42-3 over Temple.
Mm-hmm.
Missouri had a 52-10 win over Louisiana, the Ragin' Cajuns.
I love that name.
That's an interesting name. Penn State, dog walked Villanova 52-6. So just some of the, and you can tell in these really bloated wins, these are teams that are not very good, playing against top tier teams, kind of like their cupcake games. Well, actually, that's what I call them, the cupcake games. Another interesting matchup. was Georgia and Tennessee. Georgia with a 3-point win. They just slid all the way up to number 5. So
yeah,
there's that.
it was a good game.
It was a good game. And then, of course, our Canes with the 49-12 win over South Florida. A lot of people felt like South Florida had a good chance to beat the Hurricanes. Not gonna lie to you, and I say this every week, just as honest as I can. I'm gonna always pick Miami because it's my squad, but they're winning, in my opinion, because their talent is able to overcompensate for the tomfoolery of Mario Cristobal. That's my belief. He can change it this year, but that's my belief. Notre Dame with another loss. They barely hanging in the top 25, but they're hanging in there. They lost another 1-point loss. They had 24, so they hung in that top 25, but they lose again, boy. They out of there. So that'll be interesting to watch as well. I feel like overall, I don't know if you felt different, but I feel like overall, week 3, it went pretty stop. Like you had a couple of upsets. I wouldn't really say surprises, but upsets. Right? Like you knew Georgia Tech had a good chance that they could beat Clemson. They do it all the time. Right? You knew who was I thinking about there?
Tennessee was going to make Georgia have to work for it.
Yeah,
Georgia was the favorite. Tennessee was the team that, kind of reminds you of the old SEC back in the late 90s, early 2000s, when they did have teams that were really good like this.
Yeah, I feel like the SEC, the top teams aren't as good as they were in the past. And then next tier teams have stepped up a little bit. I think NIL has a lot to do with that, a lot to do with like just the progress. So it's fun to watch and fun to see just because you know what's happening. You just see like the progression. But let's go ahead and transition over here into our picks for this weekend. We're gonna start Saturday, September 20th at 12 noon. We've got number 17 Texas Tech with a top 25 matchup traveling to number 16 Utah. Who you got winning this game?
Honestly, I always like seeing different teams that come a chance to come out like Texas Tech and Utah. I want to roll with Utah because I think Utah is the better team, and I think Utah has been there before. Texas Tech has as well, but Utah has been a little bit more consistent in the most recent years. But I think I'm going to give Utah that nod.
I'm going to roll with the Red Raiders from Texas Tech.
The Red Raiders.
The Red Raiders.
The Ready Raider. Go, okay.
Yeah, I'm going with the Red Raiders. All right, so we've got UAB traveling to number 15 Tennessee to get that fat check and catch that fat L. Going Tennessee.
Yes. I got Tennessee. We got Tennessee crushing. Definitely got Tennessee crushing.
Then we got Then we got the Beavers, the Oregon State Beavers, one of my favorite names to say, Oregon State Beavers, against number 6 Oregon. I'm definitely the Beavers. I don't know if I should say this because I don't want anybody to take it the wrong way, but the Beavers are going to get beat down.
Okay.
So I'm going Oregon as well.
Oregon's a good team.
Yeah.
This might be a mollywop.
That's my expectation.
They take rivals very well. I forgot the name of the actual cup or what's called. I think it's the battle for like the Beaver Cup or something like that. You don't miss those.
If you don't miss those for Beaver, that is going to be so just. I definitely won't be watching that game.
You don't miss those traditions in school. Remember when you played NCAA? They talk about the battle of the axe.
I'm just saying, if the name of it is the battle for the Beavers, I'm done. I'm not watching.
I'm gonna look it up.
I'm not watching. That's it. Like if it's the battle for real, that's it. I shouldn't watch. I'm just gonna say that.
Let me look it.
All right, while you looking it up, I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the next one. We got Kent State traveling to Florida State to make sure Florida State has a nice warm-up game. Florida State by at least 20, probably more. I'm assuming you're going with Florida State as well over Kent State.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the silence as agreement.
It's
That's the 3:30
it's
game. Kent State, Florida State. The next 3:30 game, September 20th. Number 22 Auburn travels to number 11 Oklahoma. Norman is going to be jumping, but Auburn's going to be losing. So I'm going to go with Oklahoma.
I can dig that. That's the Oregon versus Oregon State is called the Platypus Trophy now. It used to be called the Civil War. That's what I remember in school, in high school. But no, I'm about to back to this. I got Oklahoma. I actually like them coming up, even though they're not the Oklahoma that I remember growing up with, and not the Bob Stoops Oklahoma, but they're still a good Oklahoma team.
All right, then we got the Green Wave of Tulane traveling to play the Rebels of Ole Miss. I'm going to go with those Rebels over the Green Wave. The Rebels going to ride the wave.
The Rebels, most definitely. They're a good team. They are a good.
And then we got number 21 Michigan straight off of a destruction of a lesser university, a cupcake win. Traveling to Nebraska to play Nebraska. We're going to have Paul for a minute just because Michigan. Is their coach back for this game? Because he was out last week. I think he's out this week too.
I think so. I'm not sure, but I
think
so.
He's out this week too. I think this is the second week that he's going to be out. I'm going to go Michigan. I don't have the betting lines, but if I was betting, I'd probably take Nebraska in the points because I think it's going to be close. But I am going to go Michigan.
Yeah, it's interesting because Michigan is, I think, the better team, but Nebraska, anything can happen with this Michigan squad, and I will say, Jim's not there anymore, but they're still a good team. They should win this game.
And then we got Purdue traveling to number 24 Notre Dame. Whoever made this schedule does not like Purdue, because I tell you what, this is not going to be close under any circumstances. Notre Dame should come out and put their foot on Purdue's throat from the first play of the game and press down the entirety of this game. This should be an abuse on the field.
Should.
Yeah.
There's a reason why you said should.
There's a reason why I said should, but it should be. All right, then we got the Owls of Temple traveling to Atlanta to play Georgia Tech, the Yellow Jackets.
Mm-hmm.
Georgia Tech should easily win this game.
Yep. This is not going to be the game that's going to probably drop their ranking, but they should win this game.
I don't think they'll drop if they mollywop. Now, they can't go out there and win by like 20. They got to go out there and win by 40 plus, which they should do. We've got South Carolina no longer ranked, traveling to number 23 Missouri. Who you got winning that game?
I'm going to go with Missouri on this one. I always just happen to take teams that I like, tougher conferences in Missouri. And, I don't think either of these teams are going to be like contenders in their actual respective conferences, but I definitely got Missouri.
Yeah, I'm going with Missouri as well. All right, then we got Illinois at number 9 traveling to number 19 Indiana, another top 20 matchup. Who you got winning that one?
That is a nice one. I got Indiana winning that one. I think Indiana is actually a pretty decent team. I think they're going to build off. Sorry about that. I think they're going to build off what they started last year. And this is a good game. But I'm Indiana winning this one.
I'm gonna go opposite. I'm gonna go Illinois. I think Illinois. The reason they're ranked where they are, they're playing well so far. Started out well. They've been climbing. They've been doing the thing. So I'm gonna go Illinois. But I wouldn't be surprised if Indiana does get the upset.
Right.
Now, the next game, 7:30 p.m. We ain't even going over the times. It's all good. Y'all know what the times is. 7:30 p.m. in a field that I think you may have been to a couple times. I know I've been to Coral Gables, Florida. You got the horrible-looking Florida Gators, limping, bruised, battered, in the face number 4 Miami. If I'm Miami, this is a statement. Winning is not good enough in this game. Florida is a horrible team right now. They're not good. They're already starting to talk about the coach should be going after the season. This is vultures picking over dead carcass. And Miami should be hungry vultures over this Florida dead carcass. So they should beat them down, not just win. It should be a beat down for Miami.
It should be. And at the end of the day, I've never really cared about Florida. We don't really play them that much, but of course they are a rival because anywhere between Florida is going to have a rival in some degree. But yeah, we should roll against them because we are the better team. We are the team that has a chance to go to the college football playoff. We better beat teams like this.
Yeah. I don't really care about the rivalry with Florida because they're not good. It's, to me, you got an opportunity, they're SEC team, to go out there and really beat them down. And that's what we should be doing, not just winning and being happy because we win by 3 or 10. We should be out there trying to impose our will.
Right.
Because they're in turmoil, and that's when you pounce. And then hopefully they recover and they look a little bit better by the end of the year after they play us. So that way, it'll be more of a quality win for us.
Mm-hmm.
All right, then we have Georgia State traveling to number 20 Vanderbilt. I think it's a surprise team in Vanderbilt, but they rolling. I'm going Vanderbilt.
Who's playing again? Vandy and
Georgia State and Vanderbilt.
Oh, yeah, 1,000%. Vandy had a good win against the South Carolina squad people thought was going to actually beat them.
Yep.
Pretty convincing, too, because they won 31-7. I think they're going to roll this one.
And then the first 7:45 game, Southeast Louisiana versus number 3 LSU. LSU, stop playing. They win.
Mm-hmm. LSU's a pretty good squad.
And then we got at 8 p.m. Sam Houston versus number 8 Texas. Now, the only thing I'm going to say, Texas is going to win. The only thing I'm going to say is Arch Manning. This is a good game to turn it around, sir. You haven't been playing that well, but it's only been your first couple of starts, so it's a good game to turn it around. It's set up for you to be able to turn it around. So do what you do, bro. Do what you do. Definitely going Texas.
There you go. I like Texas. I think at some point in time, I think they're going to get into the college football playoffs. So I think this is a big game for them, and they get it. I don't know how Archie has developed or anything, but I think they should win this game.
And then the final game, we have Michigan State traveling to number 25 USC. I'm actually going to take Michigan State in this game. USC seems to be in a little bit of turmoil themselves. So I'm going to go with Michigan State.
Yeah, it's amazing. USC is just every year it's always so much promise, but then they don't execute the level of play that would live up to the promise that they're trying to have. But I actually can see this as a nice little surprise, whoa. So I'm going to roll with you on Michigan State. Not because they have the similar colors to your actual Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, no, that has nothing to do with it.
I know.
Not at all. Nothing to do with it.
I know. I'm just joking with you.
We're going to transition over, guys, to a little WNBA conversation here. We're in the playoffs now, so we're just going to kind of go over what's been happening in the playoffs. So round one, first set of games, we have the Minnesota Lynx at home decimate the Valkyries 101-72. Now, remember, Valkyries, who is that? You've been watching WNBA. That's the Golden State team, brand new team. Made the playoffs in their first year.
Yep.
I expected them to lose. And I expected what happened to them to happen. But we'll get to that in a second. Next game, round one, also was on Sunday, which was a weird day to put the games on, knowing the NFL was there, but that's what they did. The Atlanta Dream hosted the Indiana Fever. Excuse me, and the Dream won 80-68.
Uh-huh.
The Dream looked like the better version of themselves in that game, and they're up 1-0 as well as Minnesota at this point. The New York Liberty were on the road against the Phoenix Mercury, and they beat them 76-69 to take a 1-0 lead in that series. They were the only road team to win in the first set of games, which means, obviously, the last game, Las Vegas Aces hosting the Seattle Storm. Aces took care of business with her. If you are a fan of WNBA basketball and you will not acknowledge her, then I don't know what to tell you. There's one player that is the best. There's other people that are close. Nafisa Collier is close. She's not her.
Yeah.
When you take your whole team and put it on your back, you're hurt.
Yeah. Every year it's like the same thing. She leads in so many categories. And it's just not just offensive, it's defensive too. It's just crazy.
Domination. Pure domination on both sides of the court. That's why she's hurt. All right, round one, game two. Started to have some game twos so far. So on Tuesday, the Atlanta Dream went to Indiana and forgot that they had a game. And they lost 60-77 to the Indiana Fever. They set up a third and decisive game three. That is going to be on Thursday night. We'll be picking that game because we are recording. That game has not happened as of yet.
Yep.
So they're tied 1-1. Vegas Aces went to Seattle and they lost the close game 83-86. Seattle put on a performance of a lifetime to win that game. I doubt they can get back up to do that, but they did do their thing. All right, and in round one, game two, Phoenix Mercury and the New York Liberty. Phoenix Mercury went into Brooklyn, where the New York Liberty played in Brooklyn, and beat them by 26. I guess New York forgot there was a game that night, just like Atlanta. Because apparently when you forget that there's a game, you only score 60 points.
Yeah.
Happened to both of them. Series tied 1-1, decisive game threes. The problem for the Liberty that everyone else doesn't have, they're on the road. You really should try to capitalize at the crib.
Yeah.
All right, and then the only sweep, the Minnesota Lynx with a 1-point victory over a very competitive and young but aggressive Golden State Valkyries team. So Minnesota gets a 2-0 win. Nothing like the first game. They went into Golden State and almost lost. But they were able to pull it out, so they've already advanced.
Yeah.
So then we've got 3 game threes, 2 of which won't happen when the show airs. Well, 1 of which won't have happened. Another one will be going on. And the third one will be third one will be going on, and the first two will have happened. So Fever Dream, game 3, 7:30 p.m. on Thursday. I am picking my Atlanta Dream to finally, in this iteration, finally get out of the first round.
Right. I got you guys. I think this year, so much just happened with Indiana and so much is not gone there. To be here, it's just even a blessing because they've been here without their best player. And I do think Atlanta is the stronger team. Atlanta is a strong defensive team as well. And I think they take care of business.
All right, Storm Aces. Who you got in Storm Aces?
These are 2 teams that are very seasoned. How funny it would be that Jewel Lloyd would have to go against her former team that she just left. She just left. I really think we should pay attention to this game because if frizzy hair Skylar comes, this might be a problem. and the Aces very well could see themselves going home. I just really, the Aces by like our team. I respect that storm. I respect that grit, that heart that they got. Gabby Williams, Aneka, and so. But like you said, Aja, I'm going with the Aces on this one. But this is going to be a very good, close, competitive game. They gonna lay it all out to win this joint.
I'm gonna go Aces, but for me, the matchup to watch, or the two players to watch, I should say, because they may not be matched up for most of the game, is going to be Nneka and Asia. If Asia goes out there and it's her again, and Nneka goes out there and solid, but doesn't put up a close offensive numbers to Asia, then this is definitely going to be an Aces win. If she somehow finds a way to significantly outscore Asia, then the Storm have a good chance.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go Aces. And then the most interesting one, New York Liberty, Phoenix Mercury. Who you got winning that one?
This is like New York Liberty versus Connecticut Sun all over again, basically, because the focal points of the offenses are the same people. Well, is Stewie back? Because I know she had been injured.
I haven't heard if she's going to be back or not. They probably won't announce it until tomorrow because the game is until tomorrow.
I want to lean the champs. I'm going to lean with the champs because at the end of the day, defend your crown. Defend your crown. And let's see.
I dig it. All right, guys. So that is our thoughts on what we got going on the WNBA. We'll, of course, cover who's in the semifinals on next week's episode. We'll definitely have some definitive games that have been played. So we'll have some leaders and all that good stuff by then. So we're going to slide on over. No news today, really. We just going to hit the NFL. But one piece of news I do have to throw out there for everyone. Jadeveon Clowney finally signed with the Cowboys. It's a $6 million deal for the season for Clowney to come in and, try to help them and help their pass rush. A lot of what they lost when Mike Parsons was moved on. You weren't here last week, JJ. Your thoughts on the Michael Parsons trade? What do you think about that?
I mean, to be honest, I think, we'll see for both sides. I mean, we'll see what's going to happen. I understand the loss, but sometimes addition by subtraction. And I think we also understand that Michael wants to win. And it's a different culture out there, but you never know. You don't know. Somebody's got to step up, or, you never know. It's hard to tell because we don't know what's going to happen with those picks, how they're going to try to put them in package, get a player. We just don't know. But I do think for where it was and how sour it had gotten, it was the right thing to do for both teams, for both parties.
Okay. I did that. I was just looking through the results for week 2. I didn't really see anything that stood out too much. There was a couple of things to maybe just highlight quickly. So your Ravens got a big win, 41-17 over the Browns. They're 0-2, but, wins a win. Yeah. The Bengals, of course, the other piece of news we got to talk about here. Again, lost Joe Burrow. What looks like, honestly, is going to probably be the season.
3 months.
Unless they make the playoffs. It's going to be like 3 months. You got a grade 3 turf toe he's going to have surgery on. I apologize if you are a Joe Burrow owner. And the reason I'm going to apologize is because I drafted him. And every year I draft him, he gets hurt. So I apologize to you guys that, along with me, drafted Joe Burrow. But seriously, I don't think it's my fault. But it just seems like every time I draft this dude, he gets hurt. I literally was the last time he got hurt 2 years ago, I was in a 2-quarterback league. I literally was up like 300 points. He got hurt. I had to put in C.J. Stroud to replace him. And that was C.J. Stroud's rookie year. So he was good for a rookie, but he didn't have a Jaden Daniels rookie year, statistically wise. So, yeah, I ended up not winning the league, long story short, just because of that one thing happened. So, yeah. Football guys, you're unkind to me. The Dallas Cowboys in overtime eke out a 3-point victory over the New York Giants. If I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan, personally speaking, I am concerned that we barely beat the Giants. That's just, that's just me. However they feel is how they feel. I know a win is a win, but that's a team you should be able to not have to go to overtime to beat. The Lions bounced back from their hard showing week 1 against Green Bay and look more like the old school Lions that we're used to, 52-21. The Dolphins are the worst team in the NFL right now. They're worse than the Saints, to me. Buffalo goes up. They get their second win. They're 2-0, just like the 49ers. Rams, Titans, not a surprise. The Panthers actually look pretty good outside of letting themselves get down in the first quarter, the first couple of drives against the Cardinals, but still ended up losing. The Colts with the 1-point victory. Daniel Jones is looking more like Danny Dimes again in Indianapolis. Somebody was telling y'all all offseason he needed to be on a team that had a line, weapons, and a run game. And he would be fine. He's a middle of the pack quarterback. He's not great, but he's not garbage. But when you're not a guy that can manufacture things on your own, you have to have at least a good line. Not maybe a great line, but at least a good line that can block for you. It was better with that in weapons. Yeah. Eagles handed Chiefs their 3rd straight loss for the first time in the Patty Mayo era. That was so just, it's great.
At some point in time, I understand we get enthralled with how long they've been there, but teams are going to catch up.
Yeah. They've caught up to the Chiefs. And I still think they win the division, though, but I think it's going to be a lot rougher than it has been in the past.
I wanted to say for you, I think the Denver losing Indianapolis was a surprise for me because I actually do think Denver's a pretty decent team. I think it was to have that happen was kind of surprising.
I mean, I feel where you're coming from, but like I said, when you add Daniel Jones to this team, because truthfully, Indianapolis has been a quarterback away since what?
Luck left.
No, they had a couple of good years with I forgot who it was.
Matt Ryan.
Yeah, Matt Ryan. Since Matt Ryan left, because Flacco. Let me say that.
I love him. That's my guy.
Flacco.
Give me those exceptions.
Yeah. All right, so week 3, Thursday, September 18th, 8:15 Prime Video. We've got the worst team in the NFL, in my opinion, the Miami Dolphins, traveling to the Buffalo Bills to play the Buffalo Soldiers. And they're going to beat them like some dreadlock Rastas. Bills big.
Honestly?
Yep.
I actually got them winning 31-21. I don't think it's going to be as big of a blowout because I think at the end of the day, because of what you just said, there's the consensus that most people feel about both of these teams. Miami being downright, they think that Mike McDaniel too are a hot seat, are one game away from seeing him get fired. But it's when you have such an overwhelming favorite, and then on top of that, you tie into the aspect of how much people are probably putting on this game. Stranger things have happened, and then all of a sudden, a game that looks like it should be a blowout becomes a little bit competitive. And yeah, they'll win the game, but I could see this easily being like a 31-13 at midway junction of the fourth quarter, and then they get that garbage time touchdown to make it 31-21. But I don't think it's going to be a tomahawk beatdown.
Okay, I mean, I feel it. We also have the Falcons at 1 p.m. traveling to the 0-2 Carolina Panthers. Falcons got a lot better in the draft on the defensive side of the ball. They're 1-1. This is a hungry Panthers team who has beat no one. So, what do you think, man? Falcons or Panthers? And this is in Carolina. But I I kind of feel like it's going to be a lot of a heavy Falcons presence.
I mean, they're like down the road, straight down the road.
Well, not even just that. There's a couple of Falcons players who are from Charlotte area, and they're got whole sections for their families.
Yeah, but yeah.
So this is going to be ugly.
The Falcons are actually my team picked to win their division. Now, they were actually not far away from being 2-0 in their to start the season. But I do like like you said, they improved that defense, but that defense was already pretty strong as it is. And I think now you have a good young rookie quarterback who's learning how to manage the game. He can make plays he needs against a game that's going to present this. Now, in my opinion, this is a perfect matchup for them to win this game because it is, like I said, the Panthers still up and coming, trying to find their first win. It's not the NFC elite. It's not that, but I got the Falcons winning this game.
I dig it. I'm going on Falcons as well. But I will say this. If Xavier Leggett learn how to catch the ball this week, they might have a little something. I think it's mental with him. I think if he can get by that mental, whatever it is causing this, and get back to playing like he was at the beginning of the last season, he's going to be another receiver. But if he can't, it's not going to be good. But I'm going Falcons. All right, the next game, this is easy. We got the Green Bay Packers at the Cleveland Browns. The Packers are going to win this game. They're not going to lose to the Cleveland Browns.
Green Bay looks good, for sure. Browns defense is strong, but it's not even just the defense is strong. Packers defense is strong.
Right. We got the 0-2 Texans at the 1-1 Jaguars. CJ Stroud gonna make it happen this week. This is the week that the Texans get their first win. They beating the Jags in Jacksonville.
This would be the perfect week. This is the perfect. You need to do it. This is division, and
exactly.
That honestly, and the way it looks, as we kind of feel in the AFC for a lot of people, is that in this division, you got to win the division if you pretty much feel like you want to have a chance to really make the postseason, or you're going to have to really step it up if you want to try to do both. But this is a big game. They need this.
Yeah, I dig it on that. Let's see. Next game, also a 1 p.m. game. We have the 2-0 Bengals against the 1-1 Vikings. Who you got winning?
I've got the Bengals on this one because I think of the quarterbacks that are actually playing, I think Jake Browning has the most rhythm with the team that he's on now. And Jake Browning's not the best quarterback, but he's not the worst quarterback. And I do think he's a good enough quarterback with this offense. And like you said, weapons, run game, make some plays on defense. I think they'll get it. I think they'll get this game.
Yeah, they're used to him too because he does, like, he's been in before, and there's some consistency with that. So that's something that can, he can make happen. So yeah, I like that as a good pickup as well, as a good pick as well. All right, and then we have the Pittsburgh Steelers at the New England Patriots, still 1 o'clock slate. I'm going to Steelers. I just don't trust the Patriots. Just don't trust them.
Interesting. I actually am going to take them on. Actually, I am going to take them in this one. I think that I like them. They're actually one of my teams I think can make the wild card because I like Drake May. I like what Mike Vrabel is bringing in with his team. I think this is not going to be an easy game because, Tomlin always has his players, ready to go. And Aaron Rodgers, for most of it between both games, didn't look like what we saw last year. But I like the toughness. I like the grit that I see from these Patriots, and I think they're going to get this game.
Aaron, the Mushroom Man Rodgers is going to take the special mushroom powder.
What? No way.
It's that 4th quarter mushroom powder. All right, we got the 2-0 Rams at the 2-0 Eagles. How did Optimus Prime say it in Transformers, the movie? Which, scarred me for life, by the way. Thank you for doing that. Scarred a whole generation of kids. But one shall stand and one shall fall. The Rams are going to fall. I got the Eagles winning. I think there's a lot more that we can do offensively. We haven't done. And I think defensively, the Rams are just a team that we kind of look at and be like, yeah. You know how you see that person and you be like, oh, yeah, I know what's up when I see them. That's how the Rams are for us. So I think this is going to be a win for the Eagles. I don't think it's going to be easy, but I think they just have that confidence. Like they're used to playing well against the Rams and beating the Rams and contending with the Rams. And this is a team that Saquon loves to have monster games against. So I expect him to do well in the run game. Matter of fact, I expect the run game overall to do well. Bigsby, Dylan, and Shayshawn should be getting ball. Shayshawn and Barkley should all be getting ball. So this should be a good one, but I'm going Eagles. But I will say this. If the Rams win this game, it's going to be because Victor Fangio would not send Adoree Jackson, who was out there looking like a piece of overly burnt toast the last 2 weeks. That could be the difference.
I actually got the Rams in this one because I actually do think they're a pretty underrated team out here. And I think they do have a formula that is good enough to get some points. I know, and I've heard a couple people from Eagles talk about that, the offense is still figuring it out because, they're replacing people and they got new people coming in. But I also look at that defense and what they've lost and what they are also trying to figure out. And I think of the teams that Philadelphia has played to this point, with the quarterback and the weapons and the flow between all of them, I think, yes, they played Mahomes. Yes, they have Dak. I think this is the one team that actually has the most put together offense of the ones at this point in time in the season. I definitely think Philadelphia in the long run is the team that's going to be better. But on the pick show, I definitely think St. Louis, I keep calling them St. Louis. I definitely think the Rams are a team that can get out there, and it would not surprise me. I saw that spread as 3.5. I actually will take it because I think that they are right now have enough to actually go up into Philadelphia and actually get that win. So for me, actually am taking the Rams on this one.
Well, good luck with that one, man. Good luck with that one.
Yes, sir.
I would not put my money on that if I were you. If you do, hey, just make sure it's money that you don't need for a bill or something because you're not going to get that money.
You never know. You never know.
They're not going to be the Eagles team. Now, keep in mind, the first 2 to 3 weeks are preseason pretty much for every NFL team because they don't play people in the regular season. So once we start hitting week 3, week 4, you start seeing people round into who they are. First couple of weeks, new coordinator, we ain't really ran a lot of plays. We ran the same play 7 or 8 times in the same game and still won last week multiple times. The Chiefs were over there saying, like, they running the same play, and they still couldn't stop it for us to win. So as the new OC opens up the playbook and the run game starts to look a little bit stronger,
we gonna see.
The Rams are still very susceptible to the run. And I think A.J. Brown's due for a big game, too. So I wouldn't want to be the Rams this week. Just saying. All right. But, I mean, again, I'm a fan. Come on.
I understand where you're coming from. I get it.
Yeah, I'm a
it's
fan.
Probably going to be the same thing when it comes to my game.
You got the 0-2 Jets at the 2-0 Bucks. They're probably going to be without Justin Fields. So I'm going Bucks.
Same.
And then you got the Colts at the Titans. The Titans aren't ready to win games. I'm going Colts.
I got Titans covering, but Colts winning.
All right. And we got the 1-1 Raiders at the 1-1 Commanders. Because this is a 1 p.m. game on the East Coast and the Raiders have to travel, I'm going to go Commanders. But I think the Raiders under Pete Carroll, that's weird to say, actually look like a pretty good team. But I think that traveling to the East Coast and playing at 1 o'clock is going to be their downfall.
Well, I mean, you just mentioned the guy who's used to do it all the time with Seattle and all these things and stuff like that. I do actually got the Raiders winning this game because I think this year is going to be an interesting year for the Commanders in the sense of not even if J.D. Daniels having the injury or so, teams look at you now. Hey. Teams aren't just sitting here just like, yeah, they looking at you.
I can be wrong about the Commanders game. every week, pick them to win and they lose. And I'm good with that, with being wrong about that. If you're right about that one, I'm going to tell you that's one game where I'm like, cool. I was wrong, all good. All right, we got the 1-1 Broncos at the 2-0 Chargers. This is the first 4:00 game. This one's interesting. Who you got in this one, JJ? We'll go with you first.
The Chargers and the Broncos. I've got the Broncos in this one, but it's so interesting because these are familiar coaches. Harbaugh and Peyton played each other all the time back in the NFC. Now, in the same division. And I do like the Chargers because I do know them very well because, I mean, I've had that coordinator. But I think Denver's defense is going to make a key stop, and they're going to be able to keep that ball and actually get a go-ahead score to win this game. But it's going to be I think this is a game that people should pay attention to because these two teams, if you're looking at that next tier teams outside of like the Buffaloes and the Baltimores and the Kansas Cities, these two teams are teams that can be poised to make that jump.
I'm gonna go Denver too. It's already desperation mode in their mind because they got that L last week. So now the Chargers are undefeated. They got an L. They got to climb back in by getting that dub, and I think they're gonna be able to make it happen. I'm going Broncos. Another 4:05 game. We got the 0-2 Saints at the 1-1 Seahawks. I'm going Seahawks. The Saints have the Wish Patty Mayo starting, so I'm going to go with the Seahawks.
Yeah, I like that. I like Seahawks. I like them with this one.
All right, then we got the 1-1 Cowboys at the 0-2 Bears. A tie would be great for me here.
You know that's not going to happen. You know that's not going to happen. Ain't no tie. Go ahead and say it. Go ahead and say it because you know that's – who do you believe more? Come on. I know that's the team that you have to play twice a year, but come on.
You know what? I'm going Bears.
No. I knew he was great.
I'm going Bears. They at home. They've been maligned. It's time to get the running game going. They're going to tell Caleb to wear clear nail polish this week and focus on the game. I'm going to go Bears.
My man could not do it. He could not do it. And so he made a very compelling case. A lot of it is definitely like, yo, you got to get it. I'm with it. I got the Cowboys. I just got the Cowboys. I got the Cowboys.
Oh, man. All right, we got the 2-0 Cardinals at the 2-0 49ers.
I like
what? I do too because I feel like the toddler and Whack and Cheese is going to be a good matchup at quarterback. And by the toddler, I'm talking about Kyler Murray.
I know.
Think about a toddler. For those who don't know, think about a toddler. Short, fast, and you can't catch him. Is that not Kyler Murray? When you get to run around back there. Can't even see him half the time. So that's why I call him the toddler. There's no new Call of Duty or FPS games I can remember coming out. So it's hard, man, because I don't know. I'm not sure about Whack and Cheese. I don't know if they've been able to kind of, because they do a pretty good job of putting you in a system and you being good. They got, I think Kittle's still out, if I remember correctly. They're going to be without him. But CMC should be playing. Brian Robinson should be playing too, so they're going to be able to run the ball, I'm sure. As long as Whack and Cheese don't mess it up, I guess I'm going to go 49ers. I would be more confident if Purdy was there because we know what Brock Purdy is in the system. But I'm going to trust that Kyle Shanahan can modify the offense enough to make Whack and Cheese decent.
That's precisely why I have no problem saying I've got the 49ers to win this game, because I do think they do still have Ricky Pearsall, who looks like that's the weapon. That's the next weapon they want to try to showcase. They have Jawan Jennings, who in this system has been here for a while. And I do
Yes.
trust Kyle Shanahan. I trust Kyle Shanahan to maximize the strengths for his quarterback, have him put him in the situations that are going to help excel him enough to win this game. But I do like both teams' trajectory for this year. I'm actually thinking the Cardinals, I think Kyler Murray, the toddler, and it's funny because he does run around, and even his hair kind of looks like a toddler and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Right.
That 4-year-old kid, you have to tell, like, sit down before I go in the back and beat your tail or some stuff like that. But I actually like this game because I think I like both. I like Marvin Harrison's connection with Kyler, and then Trey McBride. But I do think that the weapons around, I like San Fran's a little bit more.
I do have beef with the Sunday night game. We have the Kansas City Chiefs at the New York Giants. NFL, that's what you put on as a Sunday night game on week 3. You better hope it's not anything more interesting, though, because I got to be honest. I watched that instead of this game. Now, they're both 0-2, but I think you feel like it's almost impossible for the referees to allow Kansas City to lose in prime time against the Giants.
That'd be bad.
I'm inferring. Yeah, I think unless there's just a total meltdown with the Chiefs, they should be winning. And they may be getting, I think, what is it, Riche Rice? No, Worthy is the injured. Worthy may be back this week, possibly. Rice, I think he had to serve, is it 3 games he got? Or 4? But he won't be back this week, long story short. I don't think he's this week. I think he got at least 3 games. But I'm still going to go Chiefs. Yeah, I'm going to go Chiefs. Sorry, Giants fan.
Yeah, but I think they know that this is going to be a different year. This is going to be a different year. I don't know how true that common point about the referees and stuff was even said, but if that's what's on your minds now, that lets me know that even you guys, Mark, should think that people might have caught up to you guys, because it's almost crazy for you to even say that. You weren't saying things before because things were different. Now you have 2 straight losses and against teams that have used the same formula to beat you. Strong defensive fronts, be able to run that football, manage the game, and hit you where it hurts and win this. And it's against teams that know you. Philly knows you. The Chargers know you.
I think. Say this. Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm it. That was it.
I will say this: if Russell Wilson continues to connect like he has been with Wan'Dale Robinson, as well as Elite Neighbors, they may be able to put up enough to pull off what I would consider a big upset, even though they're at home. But I gotta go Chiefs. But like I said, if Russell can do his thing, not Russell, but Russell Wilson can do his thing, make a difference. All right, last game, JJ. This is a good one. I'm interested to hear your thoughts. I know who you have winning, I believe, but I'm interested to hear your thoughts. So we have the 1-1 Lions traveling to Baltimore to play your 1-1 Ravens.
That's right. That's right. Well, if I may, I actually like this game. I always love challenges. Now, I look at this team. I look at the Lions. I look at what they want to do on offense, how they want to play on defense. And I think of the only other NFC team that we actually played that has a similar style is your Eagles. You like to run that football, set your passing game up so you can hit big chunks down the field and try to have aggressive front. We lost to y'all. We dominated them. But I think for me, it's only a matter of the physicality between the two. And I think Detroit is a team that is physical, but I think we are a little bit more physical. And I have to say, I mean, I was having this conversation with my colleague today. I don't even think about Lamar using his legs. because of how much he has developed and how much he has full control of this offense. I know my offense is going to show up. I'm very excited for my defense because part of what allowed the comeback for Buffalo was losing the line of scrimmage. And you're playing against a team that wants to win the line of scrimmage. And so I want to see us to get this one. I do think I'm going to still go with what I've noticed to become a little bit of a formula with Detroit Lions, is that quarterbacks that are very accurate on the run as well as in the pocket and also using their legs tend to give them problems. Lamar's done it. Jaden Daniels has done it. And I do think Lamar's going to do it again. I actually have the Ravens winning this game pretty much a little bit more than people have realized. I've got them winning this game 31-17. I do think this is going to be a good game for a little bit, but I think my team is going to show that, look, we know who we are. And we didn't make the mistake last year where we waited till week 3 to run Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry's already been getting it going. So it's just another game doing the same thing. And I think we're going to be able to get more wins on our side than them on my side.
I'm going to make it very simple. The Lions still are having issues with integrating the OC and DC because they lost both of them. Teams that lose both coordinators and have these difficult matchups early in the season, they normally catch L's. So I think that's what's going to go in Baltimore's favor. Baltimore's going to come out and they're going to play well. We know the routine with Baltimore. For 3.5 quarters, you guys are going to play well. The question is, when you get to that last half of the fourth quarter, if you either have enough of a lead where even when they're trying to come back, they just can make the score closer, or if you still allow them to hang around when y'all tend to have the misfortune, we'll call it, happen with y'all. Like things that you've done well all game, all of a sudden just start happening, not working out for you in that last half of the fourth quarter, I'll say. So as long as y'all can either weather that storm or just really give them that work early like you should and have it not even be close enough, have it be a multiple score game at that point, I think you'll be fine because they don't have the explosiveness to me that Buffalo Bills do have.
But
in the passing game. Running the ball they do, but it's harder to come back in a small window of time if running the ball.
But, I think to your point, I think the one thing that I noticed the difference between the blown leads and then this point is familiarity. It's those blown leads against teams that have played us pretty frequently. We talk about Miami. They play us almost every other year. Buffalo, we just saw them last year. So like with NFC teams, especially with last year and then the times that we play them, there's only one team that I can honestly look back and feel like that has really actually beaten us, and that's you guys. The other ones, like with Detroit, I mean, if we're in that moment, I definitely think there is a little part of me is like missing places that you were just killing like a couple drives before, just all of a sudden don't happen. And it's almost like they're even surprised that things are happening. And then the other team is just like, yo, boom. Because for me, it's just eliminating that one big play. Because when you look at all the comebacks, it's just been mostly big plays. And I go back to week 1 against the Buffalo Bills. The game changer was James Cook's play that turned from a 10-yard strike to a 55 to 60-yard run all the way down to the red zone, taking out only 20 seconds of the clock and still give you enough time. If that does not happen, those are when those leads become easier to manage. And that's what we cannot let Jahmyr Gibbs do. Because if we're talking about a guy that has the caliber to do what you're thinking that could happen to us, it is him. And for us, I'm banking on us knowing that they don't know us too well to be like, all right, we know how to pick that up. But I think that's a viable point about this fourth quarter. But I'm going to give it to them. I'm
still pick Buffalo too. I'm just saying if they lose, I feel like that'll be what'll happen for them to lose.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I would just like to ask a favor of the Baltimore Ravens. At least let Jahmyr Gibbs get about 100 and a touchdown.
Fantasy purposes.
Needs that. Fantasy purposes needs that. So I would appreciate if y'all just, You can just let him get like 100 in a tutty. That would be appreciated. If not, I understand. But hey, I also have his backup as well, so it would be nice if they could both let his backup maybe at 75, catch about 50. You know what I'm saying?
Well, hold on now. I'm with you for one. I don't know if I'm with you for both. Now I could give you one.
I just need one touchdown. I just need one touchdown from me. So I don't need one. That's only 14.
How about
they don't have to score? They don't have to score no other points other than that.
How about David Montgomery gets his touchdown within 5 or 10 yards and doesn't have more than like 40, like 30, 40 yards and like one touchdown?
We gotta have more than that. I had to start him. We gotta have more than that. We need about 75 running and another 50 in the air. You know what I'm saying? Because he's probably going to be the top receiver because Amon-Ra St. Brown seems to be a guy that's been running his mouth, and it seems to be the rest of the league is kind of saying, "Oh, you out here running your mouth every week. Let's put some number ones on you. Let's focus on you."
Really?
And it seems to be affecting his production. Sometimes your mouth can write checks that your ass can't cash.
Hello?
And it might be what happened. So, But Jake Browning, I just want to let you know, sir, I am starting you in a couple of leagues, but I did leave you on the bench in one league that I need you in because if I put you in every league, you'll have a garbage week. But if I leave you off at least one league where I really need you, you'll play better. So that's what I did. I'm doing what needs to be done for victory. And not just victory. Sweet victory. But yeah, man, that's pretty much all I got, man. Anything else you got?
Nah, I'm good. We good. How about you, man? I'm ready. This is fun.
Yeah. So JJ will be on every third Friday. So for those of you who would like to hear his specific style of takes, every third Friday, even though he's wrong in at least one of the games this week, every third Friday he'll be on to give his particular brand of discussion.
Yeah.
JJ, any last words? And please let the people know where they can find your content at, sir.
Well, yeah, I'm first and foremost cool. Always a pleasure to be on here, man. Always a pleasure to get here, talk about a wide range of different sports, and have a lot of comedic relief in there because you definitely have that wit and that zinger ability, and I appreciate that. I might be wrong on one, according to you, man, and it's all good.
I don't know about the rest. You might be right on all the rest, but I feel like
it might be right on all the rest. But I will say you're my boy. But this has been fun. But you guys can follow me at either JJ Jenkins on Facebook. I don't really be on too many other platforms, but we do have a show I'm on with my peoples. But other than that, I'm just a cool guy that just be chilling, just happy to be on talking sports with my friend.
So right here, this will give you all my stuff.
Fly, eagle, fly. I get it.
I've had a very unique perspective this past year. I was able to kind of assert myself as a face for AL2 football. Shout out to the AL2 fam, all the players, coaches, owners, and everybody, man. It's great. We're going to be back killing it again next year, having more fun, introducing y'all to more of those guys. But, shout out. And, enjoyed it, man. Make sure you like, follow, share, subscribe to all my good stuff. And that's pretty much it, man. Be back next week. Next week, we're going to have on the venerable Mr. Chris Bates. That's always going to be a fun episode. You think I got some wit and I got some funny things to say? Tune in next week, y'all. It'll be fun. For me, for my contributor for week 3 every month, yeah. So JJ, we out. We'll be back next Thursday together. I'll be back every week. Holla at your boy.
Take care, y'all. Thanks again, man.